Welcome back to the Rockingham Motor Speedway. It's absolutely chucking it down here. It's time for round 6 of the British Touring Car Championship. Some drivers are on wet tyres, some drivers are on dry tyres. It promises to be absolute carnage, and to describe it for us are Tim Harvey and John Hindhoff.
Thanks very much, Ted. And well, there may be some gaps, but this is how they should be lining up. Adam Jones for Team Aircool on pole position. Remember, he was lucky number 8. Alongside him, Chilton. Turkington's in the pits to change tyres onto wets. Onslow Cole on row 2. Shedden on row 3 with Darren Turner. Expect to see lots and lots of gaps. In fact, only at the moment Jones is on his proper grid position. Row 4, Fabrizio Giovanardi and Matt Jackson, that's how it should be. Row 5, Plato and Kane. Matt Neal and Collard on row 6. On 7, Harry Volkard, we know is on wets. He'll be staying out there, taking a chance for Robert Shaw and Chevrolet. Jason Hughes alongside him, then Jelly, George and the rest of the team. Forget about the grid, look at the gaps on the grid and look to the pit lane.
Yeah, Onslow Cole's pulled up in the wrong place because he can't tell where he should be. Half of the grid, more than half the grid are in the pit lane. This is definitely a case of wets being the right call. It's now tipping it down. I don't think, I mean, it's almost dangerous, but the cars that are on the grid at least are well spaced apart.
The safety car is standing by at the end of the pit, and the start has been aborted, we're hearing. Well, what a shame for everyone who took the gamble.
That is a result for those that are on the grid, because they'll be able to go round and put wets on now, and we'll get everybody on wets for the start of this race. It's the only thing to do for safety. If we'd started this race, I think with some cars on slicks, we'd have been looking at a big accident. It's also good for Onslow Cole, because he could have been penalised for lining up in the wrong place on the grid, but that'll now be forgotten about, and they'll go around and get wets on.
So what happens now is the cars that are on the grid will be shown back around, and everyone will have to come back and form up again. Well, look at that rain, it's tipping down.
Well, we go into various options now. I mean, they could just hold the cars in the pit lane and do another 3-minute countdown on the grid, or they could say, look, we'll send the cars on the grid round to get wets on and let them all rejoin on the back of the grid. I'll have to wait and see what they say. It's all down to safety, really.
We're hearing it's a 3-minute countdown again. And even the people in the pits are going to have to get a bit of a wiggle on here to get these tyres changed.
Well, I'm sorry, I haven't seen the board say 3 minutes. I think this will be aborted. Yeah, I think it'll be aborted.
And that is the decision that has been changed. 7 minutes, so it's a complete restart now, Tim, and I think that's sensible enough.
Well, it is. I mean, in actual fact, I think now with 7 minutes on the clock, those guys on the grid could now have their teams come out and put them onto wets.
That's exactly right.
So that they don't need to go back to... Let's go down to Janie. She's with Alan Gow. I'm sure he's got an opinion on this. Janie?
Certainly, and we're just, commentary team just said you've got an opinion on it. You've got a decision on it, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got to go delayed start and get the guys to put their wet weather tyres on. When we first started the race, obviously it wasn't wet enough to put wets on. Now the conditions have changed, so we've got to delay the start.
And obviously that's in the interest of safety, and also keep the racing exciting. We want to keep it safe but good.
Absolutely, the racing's always exciting, but it's a safety aspect. You know, you can't let guys start the race on tyres that are unsuitable for the conditions. So it's one of those unusual situations where the situation changed within a minute, and we've gone from using slicks to wet. So that's what we've done.
Okay, thank you.
And just look at that weather. It's coming straight down, Tim. There's virtually no wind. This is in for a while, this.
Well, at least we have one thing and not the other. It'll all be wets, everybody will be on wets, and it'll be a straightforward race. Although we have got hailstones as well, so I'm not sure the guys have driven on those. But at least we'll have everyone on wets. It would have obviously been quicker to have just sent the cars round that were on the grid into the pit lane and have them change in the pit lane. But because it's a long way from the pits to get the tyres down, and they've got to bring all the tyres onto the grid for those few cars. There's 2, 4, 6. There's only 8 cars on the grid. I think I'd have sent them round into the pit lane and had them change there.
Well, let's see if we can speak with Colin Turkington, who's out on the circuit, one of the drivers who came in to change his tyres. Hello, Colin, it's John here up in the commentary box. This is not what you wanted to see, mate, this. Hello, Colin, can you hear us?
Yeah, John, no, it's not really what I wanted, but I made a decision to come in, do wet tyres on the car, so You know, it is raining now and I'm on wets, but you know, it's whether it clears or not. It's a gamble. I'm going back to the grid, but I see the guys on the grid, maybe they're changing to wet, so it looks like it's going to be a wet start. It could still end up dry, you know, later in the race.
How quickly can you get those tyres changed if the circumstances and the circuit starts to dry out, and how far dare you go before you've got to do that?
Yeah, well, we generally work it out that you know, the wet pace is usually about 10 seconds slower than the dry. So once you go 10 seconds slower, you know, it's time to switch tyres.
Thanks very much, Colin. We'll let you get on with the build-up to the race. Colin Turkington there. Dick Bennett is down on the grid with Janie, and he's a wise head in these kind of times as well, Janie.
Oh, bless, you've just been described as a wise head, Dick. We just want to talk about conditions at the moment. The different kinds of things you can change, obviously the tyres, but also the setup.
Yes, we actually changed the roll bars to wet settings before they went onto the grid, and then obviously we were prepared, and then we called both in while it was the warm-up lap because we had a feeling it was going to get heavy rain. So we're on sort of 50 to 60% wet settings. If it was wet all day, we would change springs, that sort of thing, but now there's no time for that.
And when you say wet settings, that generally just softens the car up?
Yes, you run softer bars, softer damper settings just to get more compliance in the wet. Your brake balance goes to the rear. So yeah, there's quite a few changes, and now it's down to the drivers.
It certainly is. We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Dick Bennett has been around for a very long time. He'll have seen all kinds of conditions, and he'll have seen them changing quickly. I'm not sure he's ever seen anything as quick as this. We're hearing from the race organisers that the distance now of the race has been reduced to 15 laps, 15 laps. And that is why, because the rain has necessitated that we restart the whole race start procedure. And that means we're eating into the time that would take. So we've knocked a few laps off, and we're down to 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes before we get this one underway. And there's no choice now, Tim Harvey alongside me, for anybody there. You look at that, that's a wet race, it's wet tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody will be on full wets, and if the rain continues at this steady pace, it's not absolutely stair rods, it's a steady pace. It'll keep the track fairly consistently wet. It does change something on the grid though, because we did have the prospect of Jones, Chilton and Colin Turkington starting at the front with very light cars, none of them with any ballast on, but then of course with Shedden, Tom Onslow, Cole, Darren Turner, Giovanardi and Jackson with ballast. Had that been dry, I think we'd have seen a fantastic race at the front there with those three, and it would have been more difficult for Jackson and Giovanardi carrying ballast because it's less of a factor. We've already seen how fast Giovanardi is in the wet. Matt Neal is very quick in the wet. He was good at the first race. Jackson, I think, is going to struggle a little bit. The BMs in full wet conditions definitely aren't as quick as the front wheel drives. It also brings Plato into the equation. So for once, I'm not going to predict the winner. It's going to be a tough call, but I think we're going to have an exciting race and a fairly consistent track.
There's Adam Jones on pole position. There's Tom Chilton on the outside of row number one. Now, one or two people took a gamble at that first start and decided that they might go on wets. There weren't many of them. We just had about half a dozen or 8 cars come round to the grid, so they have now had that advantage taken away from them. But there's really no choice, I think, for Alan Gow. You heard his decision-making process. Gary Robertshaw is team principal of the Whitmore's Chevrolet team, and he was one of the team principals who decided to take a chance. He's seen his advantage slightly washed away, Janie.
He certainly has. Your advantage is gone, Gary. You were there, you could have been on pole.
Yeah, we are absolutely gutted. I'm not sure why they delayed the start. I mean, we really felt we were in a strong position there. We made the call. We were the only car on wets, and we were all gutted. You know, I thought we had a good result there.
I think there's probably lots of people at home that are thinking, well, where did you get your information from? Because normally we can't trust the weather reports. You're like a little Michael Fish.
Yeah, well, this cloud has been following me around all weekend. So basically, every time I go on the grid, it seems to rain. So I went on the grid and it was going to rain. So I thought, let's go for it. We've got nothing to lose. You know, we're down in 13th. We want to get inside the top 10. We'll go for the wets.
Shame.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great shame there. They did took a gamble and it nearly paid off. In the background you saw Matt Allison's car. He's a non-starter in this race because of engine problems. In fact, an oil cooler problem that made the engine suspect. So that he's an unfortunate non-starter in this race. Just about to set off on their parade lap.
Yeah, you don't want to put a 25 grand engine at risk for possibly only 2 or 3 laps. Donington's only a couple of weeks away. They're thinking championship, aren't they? Look at the weather here. I really don't envy anyone out on that grid at the moment. We're getting ready for the 6th round of the High Q MSA British Touring Car Championship, and here is the green flag lap.
Well, Adam Jones needs to get his lights on. I think he has now put them on, but it is a requirement when running in the wet that everyone has their lights on.
Well, let's remind you of the grid, and everyone is in pretty much their proper grid positions. Adam Jones was number 8, lucky 8. He takes pole position with Tom Chilton alongside him on row number 1. Behind them, Colin Turkington in the rear-wheel drive BMW. Remember, he won't have the advantage of a good start here with Tom Onslow Cole for VX Racing on his outside. Row number 3, Darren Turner's celebrating his birthday today. Gordon Shedden's had a race win already. Pick the bones out of that one. 2 very evenly matched cars. Giovanardi and Matt Jackson, the 2 championship protagonists. Yes, we can say that even this early on in the season. Looks like it's going to be a battle royale between those 2. Jason Plato has no weight and a front-wheel drive car. He should get away slightly quicker than Stephen Kane. Can he make his mark in the top 10 though? Matt Neal and Rob Collard. Rob not really getting to grips with rear-wheel drive in these bad weather conditions. He did not want to see that for race 3 here today. Harry Volkard could have made a big mark here. They gambled on the tyres and put wets on, but everyone now is on the wets. Jason Hughes alongside him in the MG. Stephen Jelly's shown good form today. He's a little further back than he would like, and he's got John George for company on row number 8. Row 9, Urquhart and Martin Bell, the teammates side by side. Row 10, Alan Taylor hasn't done a lot of wet weather running in his Honda, and Matt Allison's car won't be there on the grid, as you heard Tim say earlier on. Possible engine problem. Mike Jordan and Michael Doyle on row number 11, and row 12 is Andrew Jordan and Stuart Oliver. I don't fancy turn 1 at speed. Not even from the start, but certainly not at a flying lap.
Yeah, the difficulty is the spray, obviously. It is very difficult. And the other problem is when you're coming off the banking into turn 2, the hairpin, you actually can't see where the corner is because you're on the oval. So braking distance is very hard to pick out, especially in the spray.
Doesn't even look too good going at slow speed with Darren Turner there. This is one time I'm very pleased to be in the commentary box alongside me, Tim Harvey. As the grid is clearing, the marshal's getting over the wall very quickly, and I think that's a very good idea. Look at the back of the grid. There's Jones. Well, what's going through his mind? He's had a great meeting so far. He's certainly got speed in that petrol-powered Seat, and 1, 2, 3 cars, Urquhart and both of the Jordans have come into the pit lane again. I think they're just going to sit out and let everyone go by.
No, they thought they were going to start from the pit lane to avoid any possible carnage at the first end, but they're actually changing tyres. They're putting slicks on, which is a gamble, and a bizarre gamble, and well.
The lights are out and we're racing. It's a big gamble, and Adam Jones has bogged down, and it is the BMW that gets the run on the inside. Colin Turkington's managed to get the rear drive car off the line, and I think in the spray I can just see the orange car, yes, but it's side by side going down into Dean Hepburn for the first time. How can anyone see behind that as the leaders 1, 2 wide come down into it, and they're going to tough it out? Surely there's going to be some contact. Yes, there it is further back.
And it's Plato again, but he saved it. He's held it together. There's further contact behind one of the motor-based cars. In fact, the 2 motor-based cars getting together. I think it was Kane that got turned around.
It was indeed Stephen Kane. Collard was in there as well. That's Giovanardi who's off, I think, as well. Is that further back down the road? What's he doing all the way back down there? Hasn't had a great start if it was him. Meantime, Colin Turkington has got away in the BMW. What were we saying about the wet weather for those Beamers? At least he still did get it off the line.
They still have the advantage off the line because they put more weight on the driven wheels, so they still get away off the line very well, but can he hold on to it? He's got a very, very determined Chilton behind him. Chilton desperate to get a good result out of this weekend.
Chilton is following in the spray. It's Jones in 3rd position in the petrol-powered car. coming through. Matt Jackson as well. They're shedding, trying to go around the outside of Tarzan, and that's not an easy one to pull off even in the dry, never mind the weather. Well, you pick it out, Tim. What do you reckon? Who's that?
Well, looking out the window and not at the television, I can tell you that Colin Turkington is still leading from Chilton, from Jones, from Jackson. Actually, is it? No, I think that's positions changed. Across the line, Turkington leads, Chilton second, Jones third. It is Matt Jackson up to fourth.
Then Shedden, and
Plato and Turner side by side into turn one.
Well,
this is on board, and that's Plato passing on the inside. Turner had a slide, and the car behind as well. That is so dangerous.
There's clearly some standing water there, just on the apex of turn one, Tim, or something running across the track. Yeah. Because you saw Turner just lost the front end completely there.
Well, there were several cars having big moments there. Look at that. Turner's dropped back into that battle with Giovanardi and Onslow Cole, but that really was treacherous through there.
30-second stop-go penalties for cars 11, 28 and 55. That's Plato, one of them. 28 is Jason Hughes, and 55 is John George. So all of those cars will be coming into the pit lane for a stop and go, and 30 seconds. Now this is Matt Neal trying to have a look at the inside of Jason Plato on the first lap. Looks pretty clean to there. Yeah,
you couldn't see him pushing the other car out wide, but he certainly got underneath and stopped the car. But that is big drama for the 30-second stop-go penalty for Jason Plato. That's a huge penalty.
Off has gone Tom Onslow Cole, and the angle of the left front wheel tells me he's had some contact somewhere. Now 30 seconds, I wonder if they were still working on the car at the inside the 3 minutes.
That is a technical infringement. It's not a jump start. It's at some kind, because it would be a drive-through penalty otherwise. It must have been from the first start.
Now someone has peeled into the pit lane, and it is Jason Plato. Plato's peeled off into the pit lane for his 30-second stop-go. He's being held by the officials.
Well, the only thing that can save him now actually is a safety car, because of course he won't lose a lap here. He'll get back out, and if there's a safety car, he'll be back in behind him. And the other two cars, Jason Hughes and John George, following him in the pit lane.
Meantime, the battle for third position. Jason Hughes with the yes, and we're hearing now from the grid that it was exactly as we thought. People on the grid inside the 3 minutes before we started the race.
Yeah, well, we knew that. The team should know that. Jason Plato's just getting off back onto the circuit, so he will not lose a lap. But Turkington actually now has the fastest lap and a 2.5 seconds lead. There he goes. He's the only one who's got a decent track in front of him, no spray, and that's on board with Turkington.
Well, I can take that. Now that I'd be able to work out where I was on the track, but anybody following doesn't have that advantage. You can still see there's quite a bit of spray coming up, as in comes John George to serve his 30-second penalty as well.
Yeah, I remember talking to Dick Bennett's on the grid. They got a half and half wet setup on it. They managed to get the roll bars softened off. No time to change springs. They might have actually just adjusted the dampers a little bit to make the car a little bit softer, give the guy more feel for as it breaks away. He needs to really feel the traction on the track.
Now here's an interesting battle. Third position, front wheel drive with petrol power for Adam Jones in third. Behind him, Jackson. Behind him, well, look at that.
That's what it looks like from Shedden's car. You can see the difference compared to Turkington's, and he's approaching a corner that they take at 100 and probably still 120 miles an hour. You can hear him feathering the throttle just ever so gently, easing on, easing off.
And another big wiggle. There's definitely some how does he see where to brake? He's going down through the... He's driving by smell.
Well, the only thing I would say is on the side of the track, there's a big Rockingham sign. And honestly, in these conditions, you look for a point to brake on the side of the track.
New third position as Matt Jackson went by ahead of us. Couldn't see it through the spray. Got no idea that was going to happen. And Jackson and Jones are now absolutely together. This is front wheel drive in the car on our left versus rear wheel drive on our car, the car on our right, and this one is going to run and run, both cars with very different handling characteristics.
Oh, there's contact there. Jackson just managed to stay on track. Look at him, look at him. You just get a certain amount of water onto the tyre and instantly it will spin up when it's too much, but Jackson holding and defending rigorously there.
Well, I remember watching Matt Jackson in his Seat Cupra championship winning days. He doesn't mind a loose car. That was a front-wheel drive car, of course, but we've seen him drive through the grid with an evil handling car, back-end sliding all over. Clearly he's bringing that car control and skill and bringing it all to bear right here.
He is, and we didn't expect the BMs to go as well. They certainly haven't been as good when it's been intermediate conditions, half damp, half dry, but in the full wet conditions, Turkington still has the fastest lap, and Jackson we're seeing making progress.
Turkington leads then. He's just gone across the line, 3.6 seconds. As in the background, oh dear, that's Michael Doyle, who just missed his braking point coming towards the end of the lap. At least the...
I don't think he just missed it. I think he's on halfway on his way to
back to Scotland.
Kettering. Yeah, Turner with some damage. He looks like he's been through the gravel trap for sure. Looking at that front splitter, he's been through the gravel trap somewhere.
And that's Urquhart going past him. Urquhart down in 11th place.
Well, I don't know. If I was Urquhart, I'd back out of it now.
Yeah, there he goes straight on at exactly the same point.
Yeah, he's just managed to keep it going. The diesel torque obviously has good traction capabilities in the gravel, and he kept it going.
I think he's picked up a cone as well for his troubles. There's your positions after the first 4 of the shortened 15-lap race. Now look, just look at Shedden there. Looks like he's on completely the wrong line, Tim, but what he's doing there is looking for a bit of grip.
Yeah, this is a very wide circuit, and all round the infield section, most of the grip is all round the outside of the circuit, so you don't be surprised to see guys taking some much wider lines.
Was Chilton in second, my apologies. Now coming out of the pit lane. Oh dear me. Now Stephen Kane on slicks.
I'm amazed if he is on slicks, but I mean, I think what might have happened there is he caught the river of water that's running across the track, and just as he was loading the car up, he hit the river of water. But I mean, I don't think they'd have sent the car out on slicks, because it would just be too dangerous. It'd be straight in the wall. There's no way that car's on slicks. That's just aquaplane.
Now there's Turkington across the line. What a great getaway he had, and he has controlled this race. He's got over in nearly 5 seconds now. Back to Chilton in second, then another 2.6 back to Jackson. Jones in 4th place, then Shedden in 5th, Matt Neal in 6th. Yes, there he goes. Giovanardi should be next through. Fabrizio, where are you? In the murk. There he is. He's gone through. Jelly, Collard and Turner, the top 10.
Yeah, remember, if you like, this is Shedden on board looking back, and he's got a reasonable gap towards Matt Neal, but Matt Neal will be charging. Giovanardi, who did make a good start, had that moment, if you remember, running wide on the right-hander after on turn 3, and that's what put him back, so he's still charging, and amazingly, no safety car.
No, you'd have lost money on that one, I think, if you had asked us that at the beginning of the race. Remember how good Matt Neal was as well in the half-and-half conditions towards the end of our second race from Rockingham, round number 5. These are full wet conditions though, but I just wonder if that Vauxhall Vectra may come into its own a bit later on in the race if it does start to dry out just a little bit. Into the pit lane has come one of the Jordan cars, and that's I think it's Andrew again, yes. More gearbox problems, there he is with the yellow mirrors.
Well, it's a meeting the whole Jordan team will want to forget, to be honest. They ran well here in the test day here, and they had high hopes for here. It's a good circuit for the Integra, but nothing to show for it today. Now Shedden is definitely catching Jones. They felt out the grip. The conditions are staying about the same. Shedden's just clicking into a bit of a rhythm now. He's got the car working well, and he really is picking up points every race. He's doing really well. He had that pole. He won the first race. He finished. When did he finish? He finished 4th in the second race. Apologies for my hesitation, but he's really picking up good points, and this is going to keep his championship struggle going.
Yeah, and remember, he's got a heavy car, but in these wet conditions, as Tim mentioned earlier on, it won't be as big a disadvantage as it would have been in the true dry. Adam Jones has been a revelation for me today. The young man in the 21 car, there he is, battling for 4th and 5th position. Look at Shedden's view. Where do you decide how to brake? Remember, he does have the slight benefit of the windscreen wiper just to the right of our shot there, but you can see as well, it's starting to steam up in the car, and that's the other problem you're going to get in a racing car, Tim. You don't have blowers on the screen.
No, well, what they generally do is they run electrically heated screens, as they do in some road cars, and that is a fail-safe way of keeping the screen clean, assuming it works. But with all this water around, the electrics don't always work properly, and when that fails, you then rely on a sort of anti-fogging substance, the same as you put on the inside of a motorcycle helmet visor, and that again is not always foolproof.
Well, this is the closest battle on the circuit at the moment, and it is the battle for 4th position between young Adam Jones in the 21 Seat and Gordon Shedden in the 52 Honda Civic behind him. That Civic, very short wheelbase, extremely twitchy. Oh, Darren Turner's off again. Not the end to his birthday he would have liked. Had a great second race here. Really looked like he turned the corner with that car, but he is embedded now in the gravel.
Well, if I was being really cynical, I would have said that the team told him to park it somewhere which would guarantee a safety car to ensure that Plato moved up on the field. But no, he's just buried that. Almost as he's got too much front brakes on there. He hasn't wound enough brakes to the rear for the wet.
A lot of aquaplaning with the car just skipping across the standing water, and a resolute slam of the door from DT. There's the leader, Colin Turkington. And look at the gap, 6.5 seconds between himself and Tom Chilton, who has got John George to negotiate, and John does stay out of the way.
Well, we're on lap 8 of 15, so we're over the halfway point.
Still Turkington leading, and you can almost feel him tippy-toeing, can't you? Just going on and off the throttle, trying to find the grip somewhere.
All the driver control inputs have to be really, really gentle. You have to brake more smoothly, accelerate more smoothly, turn the steering wheel more smoothly. Well,
now,
the safety car is standing by. We've got a yellow flag. We have got the safety car out. This is heaven for Jason Plato. He's obviously slipped Alan Gow a few quid, and this is going to close the whole bunch up, and it's going to help Jason Plato enormously.
Turkington with a huge slide coming in to the S's. We'll see the safety car board, and John George has gone straight on as well. That's towards the 3/4 way around the circuit. There's the safety car. Jason Plato benefits. He's down in 13th position.
Yeah, but more importantly, the group will all close up. Now, assuming they haven't decided that the conditions are too dangerous to race, in which case it could actually even finish behind a safety car, or could be abandoned, then we'll clear the cars that are abandoned and restart. But it is just possible that they've decided for safety reasons to throw the safety car.
It is very dark here. Our cameras actually brighten up the scene. We're in the commentary box looking down at the pit lane, and it looks like evening time now. It looks 3 or 4 hours later than it is. There's John George, he's off the circuit, and remember, Darren Turner went off as well. Now, what happened here? John George just drifted wide.
Yeah, he just went in a little bit too quick, couldn't turn it. Got on the throttle, but he just hasn't got enough steering now on the grass. Not enough traction to actually do it.
So. Feel a bit sorry for him there, because he was actually trying to get out of somebody's way who was putting a lap on him. And
he was doing the right thing. Back on board with Turkington. He's behind the safety car, look, and they'll go around fairly slowly now, which is also not a good thing for the drivers. When they slow down, they lose their rhythm, and also the water builds up on the circuit. But let's see if we can talk to Colin, see how he's feeling.
Hello, Colin, it's John here up in the commentary box. Are you listening to us out there? You may just be a little bit too busy. Commentary box to Colin Turkington. Colin, do you hear us? Well, I think he's probably... Look at his eyes. He's too busy keeping that car.
He is very busy. The concentration levels when it's this slippery are absolutely huge.
Even at the speeds we're doing now?
Well, no, not at the speeds we're doing now, but now they're just thinking about the restart, thinking about where the grip is. They're just having a bit of a break, really, to think about it. But it is then very hard to switch from being almost completely relaxed to getting back into full racing speed.
Now we've got several course vehicles out. There's one of them, the Rockingham safety team. Those great pickups, which are a throwback to the Champ Car racing days here on the full oval. That car is about to pull
That's
up.
Jordan and Plato, look, at the back of the field, trying to catch back up. That's Mike Jordan in front, I can tell by the yellow open face helmet. So they're sort of going reasonably quickly to catch up onto the back of the tail of the pack.
And they are desperately trying to stay on the lead lap, which they have done. As they'll come round this time, they will be in 12th and 13th position, half a minute behind the lead car at the moment. But of course, that half a minute will evaporate once they get onto the tail of the cars ahead of them.
Yeah, look, the cars are only just round the next corner, so they will catch up.
So 10 laps of 15 as, oh, now, going in or coming out? He's had enough, hasn't he?
That's going in, and I don't blame him, actually. But that car looks to have died. It's probably taken in some water somewhere.
Safety car conditions. The field is neutralised. We've got a couple of cars in the gravel.
That's Turner's car in the background being pulled out of harm's way, so that's out of the way.
Now, this is that's what it looks like from behind Darren Turner's car. They're not even going to try and move it all the way back to the pit lane. They want to get this one racing again. There'll be some nerves now with Colin Turkington, with Chilton right up behind him.
It is the worst thing. He had a nice lead. He was in his rhythm, as I said. He had fastest lap. Now the track has got wetter because the cars haven't been going round at full speed. But at the moment, I see no sign of the safety car lights going out yet.
Well, there's Oliver in the pit lane, and the team go to work. The BTC Racing Lexus IS200. And there'll be liberal amounts of water repellent being sprayed into there, but I fear we may not see that one again. Darren Turner slopes off in the distance. Now very damp as well as very cheesed off, I'm sure, for making not one but two mistakes.
Yeah, and he's got his nice, beautiful, clean racing boots, his spangly Nomex boots with lots of colours on. He's got them all muddy and horrible.
Looks like it might be a dash for the cash here, with just 4 to go at the end of this one.
Plato now being shown in 13th, so he's still going to pick up some points if this restarts. He's on board looking out the back of Neil, at Giovanardi's teammate.
Now I'm looking at the queue of cars behind the Porsche safety car, and there is Jason Hughes's MG between the leader and second place, and that's absolutely key, because Turkington is going to have a little bit of a rear gunner there. Remember, they can't pass before the start line.
No, very good. And if Turkington can actually get a jump on Jason Hughes, if Jason Hughes isn't alert, he's actually going to impede. He's going to impede Chilton, and this is something that is discussed in driver briefings. They must keep up. You know, Jason may be thinking, oh, I haven't got to worry too much, but he mustn't impede. He mustn't impede Chilton.
Safety car coming in at the end of this lap. The lights are out on the Porsche. Look, you can see it there, just disappearing through the shots. And you know, it looks like it may just be lightening up a bit. Or is that my boyish enthusiasm getting the better of me? Turkington has to do it all again. It's still very wet on the start-finish line. It'd be easy to get too excitable and get too much right foot and get a bit of a slide on. That's exactly what he doesn't want. Down to Tarzan.
It'll be a 4-lap race, so 4 laps to go.
Just under 8 miles.
Can Turkington hold them off?
Now we're hearing from the race organisers that the laps are going back up again to 18 laps because of the safety car. So there's the safety car pulling off. We are going to have a green flag finish, we hope. Turkington, what's he going to do? Surely he just wants to get the hammer down, and he does. No sliding around. Now look, it's exactly what we said. Chilton can't pass Jason Hughes until he goes across the line. That's so frustrating for the second place car.
Yeah, but Jason Hughes stays out wide. He doesn't get in the way. He tried his best to get to the line as fast as possible, and then he pulled out the way. It's very good driving by Jason.
Another flash of lightning greets the cars down to Dean Hairpin as we've gone green again, and the leader Colin Turkington is again trying to find out where the grip is. Remember, they've been driving slowly. Great slide by Matt Jackson.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Jackson can sniff something a little bit better here. He's already had his first win in the last race, first win of 2008, and he can sniff some more.
Yeah, Turkington's managed to make the break. There's Adam Jones following through in 4th position. Oh, it's Michael Doyle that's gone off on the restart. He's hit something hard on the left front. I think he may be far enough away. Confirmed new race distance. 3 extra laps tacked on. We're going to lap 18 now. So Turkington now just has to get his head sorted out. Get his head down, find out where there's some grip out there, and Chilton's closing in on him.
Chilton can sniff something as well. He's almost outbraked himself. Almost. You saw the car twitching around. He almost outbraked himself. the BMs are so sideways, aren't they?
Well, they'll have lost a bit of tyre temperature behind the safety car. Seems daft to say that when there's so much water around, but the wets do heat up even when it's very wet indeed. And there'll be a couple of laps when that car's going to be even more squirrely than it was early on. Shedden and Neil having a great battle for 5th and 6th position. Onto the oval again at turn number 4. Shedden comes down the inside. They're going to be side by side across the line.
Oh, that was good driving, wasn't it? I mean, they really can turn so much tighter, but look, they're nearly side by side into turn 1.
Very wet here.
Hitting the water puddle. They both get through it okay. But their heart is in their mouth every time they go through there.
Both Tim and I holding our breath. Who knows what it was like actually in those cars. There's Matt and Neil.
Plato's progress up to 9th.
Neil going a little bit wide there, and Shedden can turn that Honda Civic a little bit tighter. This is what it looks like when you're chasing another car. I have no idea how they do this. If you think motor racing is easy, think again.
Yeah, I mean, in actual fact, the camera tends to focus on the windscreen, so it's a slightly artificial thing, I think, but you can see a little bit more than that, but not a great deal.
So I love the way these racing drivers play it all down. Let me tell you, they are doing a great job out there just to keep the car on the straight and narrow. Never mind actually think and race somebody and look for your braking points as well. Here's the leaders, down to Tarzan. This is where Chilton had a little look last time around. Oh, he's a little more circumspect on the brakes. That time, he gets the car slowed doon and pointed in the right direction. Turkington, it seems to me now, Tim, is getting his confidence back. He's heating the tyres back up and he's finding that grip again.
Yeah, but there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it between them. Chilton had the fastest lap. Oh! Chilton had a faster lap last time. Just watch on the exit of here onto the banking, just how much tighter the Honda comes. He can generally pull the car down much tighter, but no, not that lap.
Jackson in 3rd place, Jones in 4th, then Neil, Shedden, Giovanardi, Collard, Plato in 9th, and Urquhart in 10th position. That's how they stand, but this is the battle for the lead. And look at this, Chilton having a look round the long way. He's looking for a bit of grip round the outside of the oval. He dives down to the left-hand side. It's all going to be about the brakes now. He's got a chance. He's in position. He's got to hold the tight line. We've seen that the Honda can do that, and he's gone through into the lead.
Brilliant stuff. I thought he might run wide, but he absolutely held it together. Brilliant, brilliant move. Real good overtaking. Very, very brave and committed. Oh, no, now he's thrown it all away. Oh, he's thrown it all away at the very next corner. He's lost 3 places.
And through goes Matt Jackson, through goes Adam Jones. So from 1st back down to 4th position, but he's got his head straight back together as Chilton. He's having a look. He's going to have Matt Neal in his mirrors as well for company. Well, he can't see him through the spray, but he's going to feel that pressure. And look how quick Chilton has picked up the pace again.
Yeah, well, no choice but to, really, but he's lost his rhythm. He lost his rhythm. This was a beautiful move, absolutely perfect. Just ran the car out a little bit, just there to make sure Turkington didn't come back at him. And he's no need, really, now. He's no need to go in too quickly here, but the rear just steps out fractionally, and bang, that's enough to draw him wide.
Matt Jackson has gone from the picture. Matt Jackson is off in the gravel. Matt Jackson is off from 2nd position. Look at this, he was battling for the lead with Turkington. He tries to go the long way around.
What happened was he was on the outside and Turkington was braking to the outside of the track and just took him wide. Wasn't deliberate, that's just the racing line in the wet.
So that means Turkington leads from Adam Jones in 2nd place. Matt Neal up to 3rd, then Chilton 4th, Shedden in 5th, Giovanardi in 6th, Collard 7th, Plato up to 8th. Jackson's falling down, Urquhart's going to be in 9th, and believe it or not, number 77, Mike Jordan, is back up to 10th place.
Yeah, Matt Neal there's just taken Adam Jones as well, so he's up to 2nd. Place is changing all the time. Neal charging now, as you say, it's treacherous conditions, but he's got a chance. Turkington can't get away. This is on board. That's the leader, Turkington in front.
Just remember how well that Vauxhall went in the intermediate conditions, and for me, and I know it doesn't look it from here, Tim, but it is drying up just a little bit. The rain has eased or almost stopped. It's not dry by any stretch of the imagination, but remember how quick Matt was in the 2nd race here today.
Yeah, conditions probably coming towards him. You can see he's just pulling Turkington in with every corner now, with every corner.
Neil's just done the fastest lap, 1:36.2 on lap 13, and he's beginning to challenge. This is Tarzan, 3/4 of the way round the lap, up the hill. on the School Straight and heading back towards us to that little chicane at the end of the lap. Adam Jones is not out of it by any stretch of the imagination in third. Chilton still there in fourth, then Shedden, Giovanardi, Collard, Plato, Urquhart and Jordan still the top 10, and there's only 12-13 seconds between the top 10 at the moment.
It's ever so close, it's ever so close. Neil has caught massively on this lap, so he's clearly got the faster car. It's only a matter of time, I think, before he has a lunge.
Down towards turn one, we know it's very wet here, but we know Neil's very, very brave indeed. And look at that, he's gone down below the white line. Don't touch now, guys. That's 120, 130 miles an hour, even in the wet.
Well, you can see what's happened. The BMW is just losing grip, and he lost confidence through there. And hesitating through that corner, because it's in the middle of two long, fast stretches, just loses you bundles. Oh, he's fighting back.
Yeah, there was a
fighting back.
Big puddle there that just brought Neil to a dead stop. Front wheels spun up, and it looked like Turkington got the drive through the puddle.
Well, fantastic racing, but he's still a sitting duck, and if he can't find some confidence to go through corner one faster, Neil's going to have him there every time.
Well, we know that Matt Neil is going to be very quick towards the end of this lap. And look at Adam Jones, he's just about on the back of this. We've almost got 3 cars battling for the lead. Chilton's not too far away in fourth either. Matt Neil smells victory. Target acquired. He is right in the right position now. Turkington feels the heat, and here comes Matt again through the standing water. He's
locked up. Turkington had his front wheel locked then. He was lucky to stay on. Did you see that? His front wheel was completely locked up, and he slipped wide and just left a bit of a gap for Matt Neil. Now Matt Neil's got in front at the perfect position now, because he's coming on to the far stretch where he's very brave. Joe's looking around the outside. He won't get around there.
Watch the back of the second car here. Turkington's very loose through there. Through the big puddle goes the new leader, Matt Lee. I think Adam Jones has got a good chance here as he comes onto the inside again. He's took the tight line, and they're almost side by side. This is for second position across the line, absolutely side by side. Who's brave through turn number one?
Turner. No, sorry, Joneses. Turkington's backed out of it. Good stuff, Adam Jones, fantastic.
Marvellous stuff. He's defending because he knows the BMW is going to be quick on the brakes. Look at Chilton in fourth position. Shedden's not out of it either. He's coming back to this.
Yeah, they're all having a go, aren't they? Oh, Turkington is the sitting duck. He's gone back up the inside again. I don't know how he does that every lap.
He's getting more grip through that big bit of standing water. No doubt he's pushing through, and he's gone back into second place there.
Oh, but Jones is back underneath him. He needs to push him wide, or Turkington will force his way on the next. Yeah, he is. It's a left-hander. Turkington was always going to come back, and now Chilton's up the inside.
Chilton's taken his pick, and he's picked the back of the BMW, and that was a wise move. He saw what was going on there. Good overtaking manoeuvre, opportunity knocked, and was taken by Tom Chilton, now up into third place. Turkington driving a stormer here.
He is, because he definitely hasn't got the fastest car. He's doing brilliantly. Oh, don't lock up this time, don't lock up.
Jones goes wide, and that means Shedden's in the picture as well. There's Gordon Shedden. Giovanardi's not far away. We've almost got 5 cars battling for second position.
We have, and this is a fantastic battle. It's been a brilliant race. Jones looking round the outside. He can't do that for sure, but he could push Chilton off right.
Matt Neil took the opportunity, got away, and look, he's eased out the gap. It's going to be about 2 seconds. Adam Jones again takes the narrow line onto the banking as they go right underneath us. Again, almost side by side into turn one. We know Jones is brave here. Is he going to tough it out on the inside? He's going to have to be very late on the brakes. Doesn't get it done this time.
No, but they both closed up on Turkington, and Turkington's left the door out. We know what could happen here. He's going to turn in. There's going to be contact.
But watch him go around the outside. This next bit of track here down the short straight. No, he's dropped further back this time. There's the big puddle that he gets.
He might lunge. He might lunge. He's aquaplaning.
He's lost his inside rear view mirror, and Jones has gone through as well. Turkington drops 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and
almost
Shedden.
4 places there. Shedden goes through as well.
It's been a valiant defence by Colin Turkington in clearly not the best car for these conditions, but a valiant defence. But the front-wheel drive cars have just eaten him up at the end of the day.
Oh, on the last lap as well, you could see him just battling it away, and Giovanardi's going to go through past him as well and go up into 5th position. They're side by side, and yes, Giovanardi's gone through, and here's Plato in 7th position at the moment, and he could yet get 6th.
He could. There's only going to be one more chance to do it though, unless there's some contact here. Plato's sliding the car. He's lost momentum, so he won't get another place.
Take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen, as, on the grass, Turkington this time. He'll not get any grip there. He's dropped down from 2nd all the way to 6th position on that final tour. As through comes Matt Neal to take the checkered flag and the max points, and just look at the VXR crew. It's going to be Chilton in 2nd, Jones in 3rd, he's on the podium. Then Shedden, Giovanardi, very tight indeed. Plato up into 6th, he did make 6 at the end. Turkington pushed down to 7th, and remember, he started the last lap in 2nd. Then Collard, where did Collard come from? 8th position, Jordan in 9th, and Urquhart in 10th position. Oh my words, Rockingham has done it again. A combination with the circuit here and the weather conditions has provided tremendous entertainment for the huge crowd who've stayed in terrible conditions. Tim Harvey.
Well, a day of huge excitement, some fantastic racing, British touring cars at its best, all here on ITV. Fantastic racing. Matt Neal is absolutely pumped. He's got his first victory for Vauxhall. Poor old Turkington went from 2nd to 7th on the last lap. He must be absolutely desperate. There'll be some discussion about his and Jackson's move, but honestly, I think Jackson just put himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. It wasn't a deliberate push-off, but a fantastic race.
Well, I've collected myself, and we can confirm that Matt Neal wins by almost 5 seconds. And Tom Chilton in 2nd place for Team Halfords. Adam Jones is the best of the independents in 3rd position for Team Aircool. What a race by him. Gordon Shedden picked up the pieces and netted 4th position for Halfords. Then Fabrizio Giovanardi, very clever race by Fab. He was very good and picked up 5th position. Jason Plato 6th, Colin Turkington, you've got a feel for him. 2nd down to 7th on the last lap. Then Collard came from nowhere to 8th. Mike Jordan was in the pits a couple of times. He managed to net 9th position, and Urquhart gets his best at 10th position.
Well, absolute madness there. The wettest race certainly this year, and probably for the last couple of seasons. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship after round 6. That was mad, wasn't it? Look at that. The old dog, Fabrizio Giovanardi, VX Racing, comes out of this still on top from Matt Jackson, who very sadly managed to end up that race in the gravel trap. From Gordon Shedden, also a race winner today. And Matt Neal, one race win through the rain, through the madness. He manages to propel himself up to 4th place, and that will be a great effort for him after a very slow start to his career with VX Racing. Darren Turner is 5th in the Drivers' Championship, ahead of Jason Plato. And what a terrible, terrible weekend it's been for him. There's Matt Neal, rightfully delighted. Ever since he left the Honda team that was run by his dad and his family, he kind of hasn't looked quite in place at Vauxhall. It's a very different car. And Matt Jackson, the man who could have taken the championship lead here today, stands disconsolate, just watching on. And as Matt manages to get out, I'm sure Janie will have a word with him as soon as he gets out of the car. But that will really do his confidence an enormous amount of good. Let's see his reaction as he gets out the car. Yes. I mean, he's tall enough as it is. The only person taller in that pit lane is Janie, and she's down with him now. Tell him to get his helmet off. Come on.
I am. He's in a rush. Oh, look, he wants to hug. Oh, bless. Kissing a helmet. Live on TV. Matt, congratulations. That must feel even more rewarding, especially considering the conditions.
Oh, it was tough out there. There was so much standing water for everybody, and just the visibility. Boys!
Don't think we're going to get much sense from him today.
Well done.
Is it easier being in the lead where you haven't got additional spray from everyone else?
Well, I couldn't see what was going on behind me, so I was worried that the Turks or someone was going to come back at me, and I was trying to keep in contact with the pits just to keep them, so they could keep me up to speed on everything going on, but I was glad to get to the end of that.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic.